So this weekend we are having our second annual Justice Conference, and it's called Crossing the Bridge because there's a divide, there's a gap, especially in communication, but definitely in relationships. So this gathering is an opportunity for us to grow in what we call cultural competence, learning how to love one another better, learning a little bit more about the situations that have caused tension, that have caused us to be divided. But the ultimate goal is to bridge that gap.
We're going to talk about the answers. We got to talk about the problem. I know it's uncomfortable. I don't like it either. But it is what it is. And we're calling on you to change it. Okay? So let me hear from you guys. Tell me what were your thoughts from your table. Let me hear from you.
We begin to respond out of love and out of real caring rather than duty and obligation. Because real togetherness, real unity requires a just response. So even as we gather and make the time to even be here, it is from a right heart. It's from a right desire. And we agree with the people in our city that want to see change, and that we're saying enough is enough, and that we're going to do what it takes. So it's important to have a right response that only comes out of a right heart, and we made the decision to be one.
So the sooner we get our conversations to what do we want that to look like, then we will have a common vision. We have a picture on the wall we can point to and say, that's what we're doing.
It opens people's hearts because they're coming out of a context where we are judging one another based on right wing, left wing, color of skin, or socioeconomic status. And so we fill our brains and our minds with thoughts about one another that may or may not be true. It's just to open the door, to give people permission to come to the table together, and to give people a taste of the joy of getting to know someone and hearing someone else's story.
Now, I would say one of the biggest things we can do is just pray for people's eyes to be opened, as well as introduce the questions, not in an offensive way, but in an engaging way, and talk through so their guard can come down.
And what I pray for is courage. I pray that we have the courage and the willingness to have these conversations, because the conversation has to happen.
One of our goals is to bring people to the table who typically won't be at the table together. We want them to be in a setting where they can have dialogue and learn about one another and learn real stories, instead of hearing it through just media where they're only hearing sound bites.
That we're lost for lack of knowledge. And that has a new meaning for me. It's not about knowledge of information, it's about knowledge of knowing someone intimately, knowing relationship. We're so bent on the general story, and we want to compartmentalize, we want to reference point, but you got to know the individual story.
Me being a young teen, I'm 18. It's just like we're not getting noticed. A conference like this, why this is important, is because it's going to get out to the people and we will get noticed.
We have just a bunch of workshops that will give people the opportunity to dig in to find out what is structural inequity. Is there even such a thing? Some people don't even believe that it exists. We have African American history in Oklahoma City. We have another class that talks about biases, how we can work together even better. There are workshops that will give people stories from those who are making a difference on the ground, so they can tell you a little bit more about what it's like engaging with refugees, engaging with immigrants, engaging with those who are in our city who are taking the flack and the negative side of the conversations that are going on in the public.
I thought that the segment on history, which I attended one of the workshops, was really good. A lot of good information, a lot of things that I didn't know that came out. We were able to see some things in Black history, especially, and talks about blacks in Oklahoma that I really didn't know.
We are looking for people to have those aha moments. So many people have solutions that are already out there, and they're in our communities, but a lot of times they haven't been celebrated enough. People don't know about them. So our hope is that people will get ideas. They'll take them back to their organizations, to their churches, to their families, and to their circles of influence, and make a difference. We want to hear the stories ourselves that come back from things that they heard at this conference.
Not going with your crowd or your race. If you hear them, whatever, white, black, you hear your own people speak wrongly and you disagree, go against that. Don't go with the grain. Be separate from the norm, in my opinion.
I think what's the craziest thing is that I lived 23 years of my life not realizing that there was a whole set of society that didn't have empowerment. I just was oblivious to those things, and so I think that's what's most crucial about today, is just raising awareness that there's systemic issues and that there's people who are needing to be empowered.
When you think about and how you soak this in and you go home and you start to say, what can I do about this? How do I affect change? All of those votes for teachers, against teachers, for accountability reports, whatever it is, Reading Sufficiency Act, it directly impacts the lives of minority children almost twice as likely as a white child.
So I just want to speak to a solution. If in a small way, you see, the racial issue brought the disparity, but in concert with people that don't look like me now, we can fix the disparity. So I would encourage, like myself, I have been given access, so now I get together with my white brothers, Mexican brothers, it doesn't even matter the race, and create an atmosphere of access for other young people that I see speak into their lives.
Well, the Stronger Together movement is just that. It's a movement and not like an organization. So Stronger Together brings people into the room who have shared values, and we believe out of shared values and shared vision, we can make community impact. So this year and next year, we'll be doing things on a monthly basis where those who are saying, I want to be involved, they can get engaged by coming to one of our monthly meetings where we will be having these same conversations and people will be being equipped to make practical change.